Welcome to Wednesday evening's yoga class. Make sure that you're aware of your surroundings this evening as you practice at home, or today rather, and pay attention to how you feel as we move. So don't do anything that doesn't feel right, and it's always fine to rest or modify. So we're going to start lying down, so find a comfortable place to lie down. Have a bit of space either side of your mat so that your arms can be a little wide of your body. Palms face up. Close your eyes. And allow your attention to rest on your breath. These are your few moments to transition from the rest of your day into the yoga class. So allowing you to switch off. You take your attention to your breath so that it's not distracted by other things around you. As you bring your attention to your breath, allow your breath to become more deliberate, so you're taking control of your breath. Just slow it down slightly, but keeping it comfortable. As you breathe in, take a steady count of 4. And as you breathe out, take the same count of 4. So use the next few breaths to work out what pace feels slow but comfortable, deep but comfortable. Every breath is going to be the same. You'll count as you breathe in, you'll count as you breathe out. Your breath is steady, so the whole time that you're breathing in, it's a steady pace of breath, steady rate of flow of air in. So when you get to 2, you're halfway in with your breath, halfway with your counting, same as when you breathe out, steady all the way. Every breath in and every breath out now the same length, that same count of 4. Maybe you can notice how difficult it is to keep your attention on your breath. Counting might help, gives you something else to occupy your mind. That's your job right now, just to observe your breath. The breath stays at that same pace, that same even steady pace. Your arms are going to join in, so starting with your arms by your sides. And then the next time you breathe in, you reach your arms up towards the ceiling, over beyond your head. And as you breathe out, your arms come back down by your sides. You still take the count of 4. And just as your rate of breathing is steady through each count of 4, the speed of your arms is the same. So when you get to 2, your arms are halfway. Your lungs are half full. One final breath the same as that, and then when you rest your arms back down by your sides, back to natural breathing. So stretch your legs out if your knees are bent. Bring your legs together. Push your heels away. Pull your toes up towards your face. And then reach your arms up and over beyond your head once again. Make yourself long, pushing your fingertips out towards the wall behind, pushing your heels out towards the wall in front. That's it, we're lying down. And then spread your fingers as wide as they will go. You can feel a bit of stretch on the palms of your hands. That's how much you stretch them, and then you stretch your toes, spread your toes wide apart. Air can flow all the way around your toes. And then relax your hands, relax your feet, bring your arms back down by your sides. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat. And then your knees onto your chest, hands around your knees, have a rock side to side. Place your feet back down on the floor. Bring yourself up to standing for our salute to the sun. A little bit more height. So stand at the top end of your mat. I'm going to come there in just a minute. Toes pointing forwards. Feel the imprint that your feet make on the mat. Make it equal on both feet. And make it equal between the balls of your feet and your heels. Knees very gently soft. And as you feel that the two footprints on the mat, imagine that you're zipping up through the centre line, through your legs, up through the centre of your body, right up to the crown of your head. Top chest is broad, so the outside points of your shoulders point to the side walls. And imagine your elbows are heavy and your wrists are heavy. Check back in with your feet and then lift your arms. Look up between your hands, reach your arms back and wide. As you lift the centre of your chest up towards the ceiling, you might feel your shoulders reach up towards your ears, so if they do, move them away from your ears. But let the centre of your chest come closer to the ceiling. And then look forwards, reach up again. Come into a forward fold, bend your knees. Bring your fingertips gently down onto the floor. Relax your whole upper body. So your back gets a lengthways stretch. Right down the back of your neck as well. Right foot steps back to a lunge. And then lift your chest, look forwards. Left foot back to down face dog. So feel the softness in your mat through your feet, through your hands. Tummy button to spine. Slide forwards to plank. Place your knees down on the mat and keeping your elbows close in by your sides. Smoothly lower yourself down till you land completely on your front. Elbows still close in by your sides. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. Look back down, push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, lift into your down face dog again. We're going to stretch the legs one leg at a time, so a bend of one knee, a stretch of the opposite leg. Swapping over when you're ready. It's like there's a sponge under your heel and you're really trying to squeeze it down to the floor. And then stretch both legs. It's harder, but imagine your sponge is still there. Weight on your left foot, look between your hands. Step your right foot through to a lunge. And then step the left foot in line with the right foot, forward fold. So as much knee bend as you need every time, head hanging loose. And then to come up with no effort on your back, a deep bend of your knees, hips sink low. Then keep your hips there, lift your spine. Look forwards, bit of an arch of your back, and then straighten your legs to come up. Reach up tall, palms together. Slide your palms down. Check of your feet on the mat. A zip up of your inner body. And then we go again, lift your arms. Look up, reach back and wide. Stretch your fingers out to the back corners of the ceiling. Stretch your feet back down to the floor. Lift your chest. Whole of the front body long. Look forwards, reach up. Forward fold. Left leg back to a lunge. Right foot back to down face dog. Tummy button to spine. Feel your foundation, your hands and your feet. Keep them strong. Slide forwards to plank. And if you're feeling strong, leave your knees lifted. Otherwise, place your knees down on the floor again. As you lower down, keeping your elbows in, can you land the whole of your front body at the same moment? Once you're down, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Look back down at the floor, push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, down face dog. Tummy button to spine, that strength down into the floor. And length through the backs of your legs. So stretching the legs as straight as they'll go. But also feeling like lifting up from the backs of your knees, up the backs of your thighs to push your hips up. To make a real tight V corner with your hips. Weight on your right foot, look between your hands. Step your left foot through to a lunge. Step your right foot forwards, forward fold. Deep bend of your knees, hips down low. Lift halfway up, straighten your legs to come all the way up. Palms together, as tall as you can be. Keep your height as you slide your palms down. Feet still grounded. Body still zipped up. So with the breath this time. Breath in to lift your arms. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. Tummy button to spine. Feet, whatever part of your feet are on the floor, the balls of your feet, the bottoms of your toes, firm down. Hips pushing up through the backs of your thighs. And then really push down through your hands. The more you push down through your hands, you might find the tips of your arm bones, the other end of your arm bones, lifting up away from the floor. It's like by pushing down with your hands, you're finding more length in your arms. Weight on your left foot, look between your hands. Breath in, right foot steps forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. Palms together, exhale, palms slide down. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back bend. Smooth, continuous movements. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. So that same firmness through the 4 points of contact that you've got with your mat. Tummy button to spine. Pushing up through the backs of your thighs, so you've got a nice tight corner of your upside down V shape, and then really firm down through your hands. There's always a bit more pressure that you can press down. Lengthen through your arms, and then see if you can lengthen right up to your hips, moving your hips a tiny bit closer to the wall behind, and then still using the strength in your hands and your arms to hold them back there. Steady breath. Weight on your right foot, slip between your hands. Breath in, left foot forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, palms to your heart center. A breath in here and a breath out. And then rest your arms by your sides, maybe step your feet a little bit apart. So either standing still just to let the body come back to normal, or giving your legs a shake if they feel like they need a shake. We're going to balance in tree pose, Bhujangasana. So bringing your feet together again and standing with that zipped up feeling once again. Balance on your right leg, bend your left knee, turn it out to the side and rest your heel on your ankle. So know that's the place where you can hold your balance with a little bit of stabilisation. If you need more, walk to somewhere where you can touch a wall or a bit of furniture to hold on with your hands. If you want to balance on one leg, you slide the foot up to your calf or all the way up onto your thigh. Anywhere but on the side of your knee is good. And then bring your palms together. Find a spot ahead of you where you can hold your gaze. You don't have to move your gaze in again from now. So imagine your footprint of your right foot. Zip up through the centre of your body and lift your arms. The outside of your left thigh, come a little closer to the wall behind, opening that left hip. Lifting your elbows even higher up away from your shoulders. Breath in here. Exhale, palms together. Another breath in, and then exhale, foot to the floor, arms by your sides. Have a moment, just feel how it feels. If you know you need a shake, then have a shake. So now we're going to transfer the weight onto the left leg. Bend your right knee, turn it out to the side, heel to ankle to start. Move if you feel you need a bit more assistance. And if you want to challenge your balance on one leg, you slide your right foot onto your calf or all the way up onto your thigh. And bring your palms together. So zip up, top chest broad, gaze steady, outside of the right thigh, moving towards the wall behind, without dragging your hips around with it. And then stretch up. How long can your arms be? in. Exhale, palms together. Breath in. Exhale, foot to the floor, arms by your sides. Shake if you need a shake, any movement that you need. Wonderful. We're going to lie down on our fronts. So when you lie down, make a pillow with your hand, one hand on top of the other, and rest your forehead on your pillow. Then close your eyes, take your attention to your breath. So aware of the movement of your abdomen as you breathe. With it pressed against the floor, you feel every bit of movement. Letting the breath just settle back to a comfortable pace. And then Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Have your legs parallel, so feet hip distance apart. And slide your hands underneath your shoulders. And rest your forehead or your chin on the floor. Squeeze your elbows in close by your sides. If your elbows are on the floor, slide your hands back some more. They want to be off the floor. And your elbows touching your side ribs. Lengthen your tailbone. So we want the lower back to be long so that it doesn't take the strain. We want the upper back to do the work here. So keep your tailbone pulling down towards your heels. The fronts of your legs and the fronts of your feet on the floor. And then draw your shoulders away from your ears, like your elbows are pulling down towards your feet. Look forwards. And then as you take a breath in, you're going to lift your chest. Let the backs of your shoulders move into the space behind them to give you that bit of lift. Thinking about broadening your top chest. And then with your hands on the floor, as if you're dragging them towards you in order to pull your chest forwards and up. So elbows still squeezed in. It's like you've got a torch in your chest. And where it wants to shine down at the floor, you're trying to shine it out in front of you. Okay, one more breath in here. Pull your hands back to drag yourself through. Exhale. Lower back down. Forehead on the floor. Gives the back of the head, back of the neck a bit of a stretch. Elbows close in again. Tailbone lengthens, fronts of the legs and the feet on the floor. Roll your shoulders, pull your shoulders away from your ears. Elbows squeezed in by your sides. Look forwards. And then as you breathe in, backs of the shoulders lift up in order to lift your chest. And then pull back with your hands again. Squeeze your elbows in. As much lift of your torchlight as you can. One more breath in. And then exhale, lower back down. Forehead on the floor. So as you take a few breaths before we go, one last time. The next time we go, you can do exactly the same. We're going to start exactly the same, but there's going to be the option to lift a bit higher. So where you are dragging your hands towards you, you're going to do that. But then I'm going to invite you to push your hands down and away on the mat and lift a little bit higher. Don't worry about it. I'll talk you all the way through it. So tailbone lengthens, fronts of the legs on the floor, front of the feet. Elbows close in, shoulders rolling away from your ears, look forwards. And then take a breath in, lift up. Hands dragging back at the moment. And then feel your hands on the floor, squeeze your elbows in even closer and push your hands down and away. See if that allows you to lift up some more. Backs of the shoulders moving back. Lovely. Keep pushing down and away with your hands, in with your elbows. Torchlight shining up. One more breath in. Lovely. Exhale, lower back down. Once you lower back down, bring your pillow back or put your arms wherever they're comfy. Take your hands behind your back, interlock your hands. So if your hands don't want to interlock, you've got big shoulders, then arms by your sides, palms facing in towards your body is your option. If you can, link your fists. So same with your legs, fronts of the legs on the floor, tailbone lengthening, front of the feet on the floor as well. This time you're going to float your shoulders up away from the floor by squeezing your shoulder blades. And then lift your fist a little bit. Take a breath in, lift your chest. So shine your torch out. So I've got cramp in one of my calves. Squeeze your shoulders to lift your fist. Let that lift your chest. So your arms are as long as they can be. Lifting up. Imagine that you've got a soft foam ball between your upper arms. Squeeze it tighter. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly lower back down. And you can rest your arms by your sides and turn your head one way if you want, or bring your pillow back. Wherever you are, have a rest. Slide your hands under your shoulders, push yourself up to hands and knees. Or cat and cow to stretch the back. So find a flat back to start. Wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. So we've been arching the back slightly, so the back would like to round now. You may be able to feel it. Push your back ribs up towards the ceiling. Tuck your tailbone forwards, tuck your chin towards your chest. Like you're trying to make more space underneath your body. And imagine you've got a big beach ball that you want to stuff underneath you and it's just a little bit too big. So you have to push down with your hands and your knees, lift up with your tummy button, round your back some more to get it underneath you. And then ease back to a neutral spine, a flat back. Tilt your tailbone up, lift your chest, look forwards. Feel the arch in your back and imagine your beach ball now on your back and the curve of your spine wraps around the ball. You're going to roll the backs of your shoulders back against the ball as well. And then back to neutral spine. Beach ball's coming underneath us again now, so dome your back up to the ceiling. Make as much space for it as you can. And then make a bit more. Back to neutral. Tilt your tailbone up, lift your chest. Wrap your back body around your beach ball now, it's balanced on your back. Whole length of your spine, even the backs of your shoulders moving back onto the ball. Back to neutral. One more time, tucking under. Push your back ribs up to the ceiling. Push your lower back ribs up to the ceiling. smooth curve, smooth, even curve through the whole length of your spine in your mind's eye. And then back to neutral. This time sit back on your heels, rest in child's pose. Bring your hands onto your shoulders, lift your chest, bring yourself upright. You're going to come all the way up to standing. And if you can put your mat long edge facing your screen, then do. If you can't, then don't worry, but stand facing the screen. So feet just hip distance apart, facing the front. You don't need to be facing the long edge of your mat for now. That's what's coming. So feet just hip distance apart. We're going to start with a side stretch. So you imagine you've got a wall right behind you, and the back of your body can feel the wall. So the backs of your shoulders, your buttocks, back of your head. You're going to lean down, sliding down the wall so everything stays in contact as you lean over to the right side. Make your weight even on both feet. And then make your right arm feel heavy, as if it's almost pulling you even further down, not just soft and relaxed, but like a weight hanging off it. As much stretch on the left side as you can. To get a bit more stretch, you can slide your hips a little bit over to the left if you want to. But that's your choice, just finding what gives you a good stretch. I'm going to take it further by taking your left hand on the back of your head. So still the whole of the back of your body, including now the upper left arm, is touching your wall. You're going to take a breath in, lift your elbow closer to the ceiling, press firmly down through your left foot. So the left side gets a big stretch, that's your breath in. And as you exhale, relax completely everything on the right side. So breath in again, stretch the left side from foot to elbow. Exhale, soften the right side. Every time you soften it, it gives a little bit more. One more breath in. Breath out, soft right side. And then this time as you breathe in, gently come back upright. And then rest your arm by your side. Feel the wall behind you. And slide your way down the wall to your left side. And your left arm hangs. And then your left arm starts to feel really heavy. Maybe takes you a bit further over. Weight even on both feet for now. Right hand on the back of your head. Hips maybe over to the right a slight bit more if you want to take that extra stretch. As you breathe in, right elbow up, right foot firmly down, big stretch. As you breathe out, soft, relaxed left side. Breath in again. Stretch the whole right side, elbow closer to the ceiling. Exhale, soften your left side. One more breath in, reach up. Exhale, soften. And then gently back to the centre. Rest your arm. So now we're going to step the feet wide apart. If you haven't got the mat widthways on now, that's fine. Turn to one side, doesn't matter which side. We're going to take triangle pose, Trikonasana. So you want your feet as wide apart as you can. The wider apart, the better for triangle. And hands on your hips. Left leg turns in, right leg turns all the way out. So again, make sure you're nice and wide with your feet. How parallel to the long edge of your mat can your hips and your chest be, the front of your body? Grip down with both feet. Take your left hand behind your back, palm face out. That's to remind you to roll this shoulder back. So rather than pulling it forwards, roll it back. The whole upper arm moves towards the wall behind. Right arm stretches out to the side. So push down with your left foot. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, reach out with your right arm. Allow yourself to hinge at the hips. Your right knee is turned all the way out, so it allows a good bit of sort of angle in here. If you don't feel like you're getting much angle, can you take your legs wider, maybe creep the back foot back a bit, see if that'll go. Roll the left shoulder back. So with your right fingers, reach as far as you can. Feel the stretch between your right hip and your right armpit. Keep that long, just let the arm drop down. And then let your left arm stretch up. If you'd rather have your left arm behind your back, then you can. Tuck in your chin, look up at your top thumb. And if that's not comfy on your neck, then just look forwards instead. Re-ground down through your feet, tummy button to spine. And as you ground down through your feet, tighten your legs. See if you can lengthen your spine. Feel how, just as you've stayed there for a few breaths, the right side of your torso has curved a little bit, it's collapsed a little bit. Give it that stretch feeling that it started with. Steady breath. Tummy button, move it up towards the ceiling to let the left side roll closer to your wall behind. Lovely. And then you're going to take your top hand behind your back, palm face out. Look down at your right foot, bend your right knee. And then as you take a breath in, come up. And hands on your hips, toes to the front. So triangle to the other side. Right leg turns in, left leg turns out, torso to the front. Right hand behind your back, palm face out. Roll the right shoulder back. Stretch the left arm straight out. So be tight through your foundation on the floor. There's only two small places where you're gripped to the floor, so they've got to make it count. Especially that back foot. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, reach out to the left. Your right foot is like your anchor here. The more you press it down, the more reach you can get to the left. If your right shoulder feels like it wants to roll forwards, that's the arm behind's job to roll it back again. Long from left hip to left armpit. Keep the length. Let your arm drop down towards your leg. And let your right arm float up towards the ceiling. If you want to, you tuck in your chin, look up at your top thumb. So if your left leg, your sort of front leg here, feels like it's over tight on your kneecap, a little bend, like a micro bend of the knee is good. But keep both legs working. Both legs work hard. Then you can keep that length in the left side of your torso. And your tummy button can feel like it's floating towards the ceiling. So the right side of your body doesn't lean towards the long edge of your mat. You're rolling it back to the back edge of your mat. Long back edge. Breathing. Long left side of the torso. Perfect. Top hand behind your back, palm face out. Look down at your left foot, take a good deep bend of your left knee, and then a breath in as you come all the way back up. Hands on your hips again. Toes to the front. Heel toe your feet towards each other. to hip distance apart. Bhujangasana, forward fold. So feet are hip distance apart, toes pointing forwards. Breath in to lift up the front of your body. And as you exhale, hinge from your hips. It's like you're lifting your rib cage away from your hips, sides of your waist along. And you won't go any further with that hinge. Then take a bend of your knees. And then relax your upper body over your legs. Relax your shoulders, relax your head. Let go of your hips, take a hold of the opposite elbow with each hand. So see what your feet are doing. Sometimes they want to roll onto the outside edges, sometimes they want to just sit on the balls of the feet. Make the even footprints again through your mat. And even with bent knees, feel how your backs of your thighs can push up, like they're tilting your hips up. So your hips don't come closer to the ceiling, but it's like they tilt over a little bit. The back edge pushes up, the front of them just looks down at the floor. And then release your elbows. Take a good deep bend of your knees. Tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin in, roll yourself back up to standing. And then we're going to lie down on our backs again. So make your way down onto your back. It's for a rest, so when you get there, make yourself comfortable. Take your attention to your breath. And then bring your knees onto your chest. Hands around your knees, have a rock side to side. And then place your feet back down on the floor. We're going to rock ourselves up to sitting, or come to sitting, however you want to. We're going to sit in Upavista, which is with our legs apart. So I know that that's not some people's favourite position. A block helps. If you haven't got a block, maybe a large book or a cushion would be a good thing to sit on, just to give yourself a bit of elevation in your hips, because that takes the angle out slightly, makes it a bit easier. So if you want to sit on a block, do sit on a block. I'm going to take mine away. And you're going to take your hands on your hips. So if it's tough, a bend of your knees is absolutely fine. Do make that option if you want to. You want to sit as tall as you can. So you're lifting your rib cage up off your hips. And then keeping that length through the sides of your waist. We're not going to bend at the waist. Just going to sort of circle around the hips. It doesn't matter how big you make the circle, but be really aware that your whole spine is staying straight. So it's not about bending at the waist. Bending at the waist is what we're avoiding. So you can stay small, or you can go a little bit bigger if your sort of flexibility in your hips allows that. Finding a little bit of movement. And then we're going to go the other way around. So still like your rib cage is floating up above your hips. Small is fine, anywhere is fine. And then come back to the centre. Take your hands either side of your hips, give your knees a bit of a bend, maybe give them a shake. We haven't finished there, we're going to go back, but give them a slight break. And then back out. So try to sit up on the backs of your legs. And if there's no way that will happen and you're on a block and you're still sort of tucked under and that your back is bulging out behind, keep your hands either side of your hips. Just try to roll forwards onto this part of the backs of your legs. If it's more comfortable, then you sit up taller, but ground down through your legs as much as you can, or the block that you're sitting on. So you can keep your hands there if you need to keep your spine lifted. If you can lift your arms, you're going to lift your arms and interlock your hands above your head. So as you lift up, you want to feel like your collarbones are lifted. You want to feel like you're making as much length as you can from your pubic bone up to your collarbone. If it collapses, if it just wants to collapse, then take your hands back again, lift it up, and then maybe reach your hands up again. If you feel you've got a bit more flexibility, then you're going to really press down through the sort of bony bit underneath your bum. Keep your arms and your collarbones lifted. Lean a little bit forwards, but you keep that length in the front of your body. You won't go far. As you go a little way, see if you can lift your upper arms away from the floor. So as you hinge over, you lift your upper arms. You can, though, just be reaching up for the ceiling, finding the length in the front of your body. That's what you're looking for, as if you make the front of your body longer than the back of your body. So if you come forwards a little bit, come all the way back up again, reach your fist up, and then bring your arms down by your sides. Hands under the backs of your thighs, bend your knees, bring them in, stretch your legs out, give them a shake. Give your shoulders a roll as well. And then bring yourself back to lying on your mat with your knees bent. Take your arms wide out to the side. So shoulder height, palm face up for a twist. You're going to keep your arms and your upper back on the floor, your feet on the floor, your knees pointing to the ceiling, but just move your hips a bit over to the right of your mat, place them back down again. So spine slightly not parallel with the long edges of the mat now. Bring both knees onto your chest. Take a breath in. As you exhale, take your knees towards the left. So you're coming into a twist. You roll onto your left hip. Keep the right arm down on the floor as much as you can. If it feels okay, you can take your left hand on the top of your right knee, just to guide it closer to the floor. You can look up at the ceiling or turn and look over towards your right hand. Any adjustments you want to make it more comfortable, do make them. Like tucking your knees up more, maybe having your right foot in front of your left foot. And then can you relax your feet and your legs? Your abdomen, your chest and shoulders. Slow breaths here. Consider if there's anything that's still holding tension. And if there is, breathe into that place. And as you breathe out, just see if you can let it go just for a moment. Your right hand, your left hand off your right knee. Turn your face to the ceiling if you turned it away. You're going to bring your knees back onto your chest. And then feet on the floor. Center your hips, bring yourself back to your starting position. And in preparation to go to the other side, slide your hips over to the left side of the mat. So a slight diagonal line, knees onto your chest. Take a breath in. As you exhale, roll onto your right hip, let your knees come down towards the floor. Back of the left arm stays as close to the floor as you can allow it. Doesn't matter if it lifts off a bit, just awareness that you're doing your best to keep your chest straight up to the ceiling, even when your lower back is turned away from the floor. Right hand on your left knee to guide it down if that feels comfy. And either looking up at the ceiling or turning back towards your left arm. Any adjustments again with the position of your knees or your legs. More tucking up of your knees is a nice stretch on your lower back. Eases it out somewhat, as does a twist anyway. So it's a nice thing to do if you have a tight lower back. Softness through your feet and ankles, through your knees, your hips, your tummy, your chest, your shoulders. Right arm out to the side. Bring your knees back to the centre. Place your feet on the floor, centre your hips. And take a rock side to side of your knees. So feet on the floor, just taking your knees from side to side. And then come to rest at the centre again. So we're going to take our final relaxation. If you need to put any warmer clothes on, then do. If you're happy just to lie there, then either with your knees bent if your lower back feels a little tender. If your lower back's fine, stretch your legs out. Shavasana, corpse pose, relaxation pose. Feet as wide apart as you want them on the mat. Just let them relax, let your legs and feet flop wherever they want to rest. Arms a little way away from your body, palm face up. Broad across your upper back, so your shoulder blades comfortable on the floor. Eyes are closed. Bring your attention back to your breath. Back to that count of 4 to breathe in, count of 4 to breathe out. So don't expect it to be even the first round. Work out what count of 4 suits you. Full attention on the whole duration of the in-breath. Full attention on the whole duration of the out-breath. And an awareness of the turnaround of the breath at the end of your count of 4. Maybe allow a bit of space before you start your count of 4 for the next part of the breath. And every time you get to the end of a count of 4, whether it's an in-breath or an out-breath, let that pause be just as long as you want it to be on this particular cycle. They don't have to be the same. It's not a holding of the breath, it's a pause. It's like you're anticipating the next part of your breath but it'll come when it's ready, and it comes as soon as it is ready. Would it be comfortable to slow your count of 4 down? Still enjoying every pause at the turnaround. Two more full cycles, as slow as you like, but comfortable. And then gently reach your arms beyond your head. Take a big lengthways stretch along the floor. Bring your legs together, push your heels away, pull your toes up towards your face. And then point your toes away. Release the stretch. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat. Knees onto your chest, a hand on each knee so that your hands can guide your 2 knees together round in a big circle. So let that circling action, let your hips move with it so that your lower back gets a massage on the floor as you move. And back in the other direction. Change from a circle to a rock side to side. Be aware if you have space to roll to one side, and whichever side that is, take a roll all the way onto that side. And then bring yourself back up to sitting. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me.